Welcome to the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club. Thank you all for joining us for episode 22. And if you've been following us, then you will know that we are a book club for people who like to read comics. Every week, we choose a different story arc or a volume, and we all read along together. And then we meet via these live streams, which go out on YouTube and Facebook, to share our thoughts, views, and reviews. We are on all major podcast networks, so if you want to check us out there on the replays, you can do so in the links in all the descriptions of wherever you are. And if you are watching along and you think, damn it, I wanted to join in, but I missed this week's reading, we will find out what we're reading next week at the end of this episode, which brings me nicely onto the reminder that this week it is you guys watching live right now that get to decide what we read next on the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club. So there you go. That is introduction. What are we doing this week? Well, this week we are reading I Hate Fairyland, Volume 1, which collects issues 1 to 5 in single comic book format. And I believe this is called Madly Ever After is the title of the volume. Published by Image Comics in 2016. This was both written and the art was done by the Scotty Young. There we go. And as always, folks, I am joined by the 3 nerdy musketeers, and they are Phil from the YouTube channel Phil's Nerdyverse.
Hey everyone, how are you?
We have Shane from the YouTube channel Dawn of Comics.
Go fluff yourself.
Go fluff yourself. And we have Scott from the YouTube channel Scott Self.
Hi everyone, how you doing? I'm not awake enough to think of anything funny to say.
That's okay, mate. That's all right. You don't have to constantly be on. It's all right. No, it's all right.
I'm on-ish today.
Yeah. How are we all, folks? We good? We looking forward to this one?
Yeah.
As always. As always.
Yeah. Shall we meet the herd then, folks, and see who's participating for episode 22?
Yes.
Yeah, enthusiasm.
Yes.
That's better. Yeah. Okay, so we have Tom from This Month in Movies. Evening, nerd herders. Let the type 19 diabetic tumors commence. Sid Lordley from Spine Ticks. Let's do this. Who else do we have in here? Scrolling down. We got TB Collects in here. Hey guys, so excited for this week's book. How you doing, TB? Scrolling down, we've got Sean, the noob, evening peeps. We've got our friend Liam Cartwright. Hey, folks. We have Subshock, evening all. The artwork in this one looks great. Who else do we have in here? I'm just scrolling on down. I'm a little bit behind here. Comic Band is joining us for this episode. Hey guys, how you doing, Comic Band? And I think that catches us up. So there you go. So we're gonna need a synopsis to kick us off. We're gonna need a synopsis to kick us off. And Shane, seeing as you chose this one, mate, over to you.
Okay, so 10-year-old Gertrude is just minding her own business when she is sucked into the magical land of Fairyland, where she has one day, or she has a mission that should take one day, to find a magical key that will send her home with wonderful memories to cherish for the rest of her life. 27 years later, she's still looking for that key, and she's grown a little mean, shall we say, on her quest to find the key. Just a little bit, as she's now a 37-year-old trapped in a 10-year-old's body, traversing the treacherous lands of Fairyland, trying to get home. And that's pretty much the synopsis for Volume 1.
Perfect. Nailed it. Okay, so we're going to need somebody to kick off the discussion then. And it can be none other than Scott this week. I think it's your turn to go first, mate.
Right. Where do we start? Is it? The art. So Scotty Young was the writer and the artist. And whilst I enjoyed the book, I thought it was there to more showcase his art than his writing. It was, don't get me wrong, it was a fun read. But I think in some bits it tried too hard. It felt a bit forced.
I'm already seeing Shane giving you the stink eye, mate.
I know. I might just get blocked later. Who knows? But yeah, no, it was fun. It was fun. I audibly laughed out loud at some points, but then there were just some bits here and there. I was like, it was a bit too much. You know what I mean? I hope someone agrees. But yeah, that's what I'm kicking off with.
Phil?
I agree to an extent. Obviously, Scotty Young is known more for his art. He's a better writer than I am, of course. So I'm not going to say he's a bad writer, but I just think, like, in terms of the stuff we've read before, this doesn't really hold up to a lot of the stuff in terms of kind of creativity. It's more just kind of like impact or something. I'm trying to say, like, and the thing about Scotty Young is, like, you can tell he was like a doodler at school. He would doodle on his pages, but he's perfected it. He's like a perfected doodler. And it's like a professional doodler, and it's fantastic.
Can you say doodler again? I like it when you say doodler.
Can we get Scott to say it as well?
All right, you first, Phil.
I'm not going to say it again now. Scott can go first. Doodler. I can't even say it now.
Doodler.
Doodler.
Yay.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, it is essentially doodling. It's not like it's, he's not Alex Ross. He's not pinned in his art, but it's fantastic looking. There's no question.
Oh yeah, it's great.
In terms of what Scott's kind of going with the writing, I felt like that too. Like, there was a lot of sarcasm, but there was like too much sarcasm at times, if you know what I mean. Like, it just wasn't. It's hard to explain. It wasn't a serious story. Of course, it's not going to be a serious story, but it was just like too much of the same thing for 5 issues. I found.
I think you have a point there. Later on, I have actually had somebody send in a score because they couldn't be here as well. But one of the points that they made was that they found it a little bit, like you just said, a little bit try hard, I think was the word that they used, with pushing the sarcasm elements and stuff. But before we let Shane completely smack you bitches down for bad talk in this book, let's just check the chat here as well. Comic Band says, glad to finally make it on time to show me the book that I've read. We got Liam saying, Beth says hi, she's busy finishing up reading the comic. Quick, Beth, quick before the show ends. And we got Perpetual Comics, that's now changed his name to Doomsday Toxics. That guy just does the rounds, doesn't he? We have Eons of Comics in here as well. Howdy to you, Lee. Just catching any people that have joined us. Amy's joined us as well. Howdy, Amy. Hope you're well. And we have my friend Craig. Dean, you complete me. Thanks, mate. You complete me too. Shane, come on and put these people in their place. Come on.
Okay, so I mean, I fell in love with this book straight away. I think I was the first time I read it, I think I must have been about maybe 5 pages in when the moon gets shot in the face and the stars are just brutally murdered just for being witnesses. This was my book. This was for me.
Can we interject there, because that was the page that Phil chose. So seeing as you've just brought that up, can we show that and have you and Phil then talk about that part there?
So the moon is the narrator. He's the land she's in. He narrates the story of the travelers through that land, and because he starts bad mouthing Gert, she tells him to shut his mouth, or she's going to shut it for him, and he back talks her. So she just fires a cannon through the moon, and just his brain explodes. It goes through his eye socket, and then of course. This is Larry's fault, because Larry mentions that the stars are witnesses, because she was going to just ignore them. But because Larry brings it up, she then kills all the stars in the sky as well.
Like, because this was issue 1, and obviously at the start, it starts off pretty grotesque as it is when she falls down, breaks all their bones and all kind of stuff. But then it comes to this page, and I had to compose myself for a minute, because there's just a whole idea where, like, Larry says, well, what about all these witnesses? And she's like, oh, maybe. Tell you what, you drive and I'll shoot. And takes out this big cannon blaster. And it's just the way kind of sneaky faces of all the kind of, the bombs. Like, we're going to get you. Like, we kind of, and the horror in the stars. It's just her.
I will say, as kind of cutesy and stuff as this looks, right? For people that haven't read this, I don't think this is for kids, man. It looks like it is, and the kind of stuff is, but there's a lot of like mutilation and stuff like that in this book. Like people having their heads chopped off and stuff like that.
The variants also have a naughty word on them, so definitely not for kids.
Yeah.
The thing is, too, most characters in this do die. Like there's not a lot left. Yeah. It is essentially Gertrude. stomping across Fairyland, killing everyone who she just doesn't like.
In fact, I think every page we've got here to kind of share with people that we've picked, I think depicts some sort of kind of violence.
Extreme violence.
Yeah, Scott, you want to tell people about your one there? Like,
yeah, okay. So
this
is like halfway through issue 3. Gertrude basically misunderstands something that she was told and just kills all these tickle trolls, but she was actually meant to pay the fickle toll.
The giggle giants.
Yeah, and she didn't even kill the tickle trolls, she killed the giggle giants instead. But I think what I liked about this is the nipples. It's the nipples, yeah. It's just the way that they're all just lying around, like they're just hung over the mountains, and the sun there is kind of like, shit in his pants a bit. He's like, oh my god, what's going on?
That's my favourite part of this image, like the sun just hiding behind the mountain.
Yeah,
you can see a troll hanging over the mountain as well, can't you?
Yeah.
The best thing as well, the sun gets his at the end, doesn't he? The very last issue.
Yes. But like what you see after like a few pages in that same issue is like the moon in a similar, holding a similar face a few pages later. And then I also like the moon when he's bandaged up as like a half moon as well later on. And I think that's quite clever to show, yes, this has happened. The moon has been exploded, but it's a nice way to kind of correct that. Now it's just a bandaged up half moon.
Yeah.
I like the way as well. Like every issue started with a new narrator, because the reason we had a new one is because every issue they died in the first page.
Yeah, they kill all of the narrators in this, don't they?
But like it was, I think it was issue 4. So it's not really a spoiler. We're talking about the book. In issue 3, we think Gertrude dies at the end. So issue 4, we think she's dead, but then Larry is the one who ends up shooting the narrator in the head because he's drunk and he's angry. He's just clever.
I absolutely loved Larry. I identified with him on so many levels. And I can see there's a comment in the chat as well. So let's just have a quick catch up with that. We've got Ian's of Comics. He says, I've just picked up issues 1 to 6, not ready yet. Does look crazy. I'm right up my street. We've got TB Collect saying, Larry is my favorite in this book. I am with you all the way, TB.
I agree there, yeah. I think I read the book for Larry more than Gertrude.
Andy is saying, check the size of his belly button, referring to the trolls. And we've got I'd 100% watch this as an adult cartoon series, says Liam. I think that's probably going to come up in the conversation. First impression, Jesus, those nipples are huge, says Amy. Are you talking about the troll or Scott?
Whoa.
I'm not sure. And TB says, just looking at this page makes me laugh out loud. This book is great, says TB as well.
When we get a great Larry part, it's a silent part when Gertrude falls off the bridge, down the ravine, and she's unconscious for however long, and he builds a little house, he finds a wife, he has some kids, his wife leaves him with the kids, so he burns.
Let me stop you right there, because that was, weirdly enough, because we don't know what we're choosing, do we, until the show. That's what I chose, and it's not compared to like all the artwork in the pages that you guys have chosen. I know that's quite simple, but that was, I think, my favorite gag in the whole comic book. The way that she gets knocked out and he builds a house, you see the seasons change, he gets married, he has kids, she ends up leaving him, he becomes a drunk, all while like he's waiting for her to like regain consciousness. I thought it was great the way that was done, and it spread out over a couple of pages. It was brilliant.
3 or 4 pages. It was really good.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
So we have one more page to talk about then. So we may as well visit that, and then we'll carry on talking about the book there. So Shane, that was what you chose.
Yeah, I chose that page because I don't want to say it's a turning point for Gert, because she's always been, you can tell she's always been quite harsh, but she takes it personally, and she goes above and beyond to get revenge for this one.
To be fair, if I was left in that state, I would also take it personally.
See, this is what I mean by trying too hard. It's too much. It's like, yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, she's really badly injured and all this kind of stuff, but like,
it's
just gross.
Sorry, Phil, go on.
So she should be dead at this point. It's
Fairyland. You don't die in Fairyland.
I know, but it's
A
just
magical
like
kingdom.
The way I see it is I know what you're saying, Scott, about it sometimes being a bit overkill. With the art and the detail, it's just this kind of huge splash of color and detail and all that. But I find in this, like, Scotty Young must have been a fan of kind of like grunge music in the 90s or grunge art. Like, it's definitely it had that nostalgia factor to me. Do you know what I mean? Like when you saw those like old grunge band posters in the 90s and stuff, very much kind of has some of that elements in this. Like, he must have been a fan. And I definitely got the vibe, like especially from big pages and splash panels like this, of all of that coming out in his work. But I do see what you mean, like it being a bit sometimes a bit overwhelming.
I think letting him loose on a book actually just gave him freedom, because if you notice, all his covers, they're lovely, but they are very family friendly. Like you wouldn't see an eyeball poking out on an X-Men variant, would you? So he had the free reign to do actually what he wants, and his art, when he's free to do what he wants, I absolutely love it. I love that it's more mature, even though it's still that cartoon style. It's very mature, and I love that.
Yeah, I think he did walk the line of having a very sugary. I mean, he essentially kind of took an Alice in Wonderland type story and then just ramped it up, like literally poured loads of LSD on it, sprinkled some sugar, and that's what you get I Hate Fairyland out of it. Like, it's pretty much like that, isn't it? You know,
that was one of my criticisms of this book. Like, it's too sugar and sweet. Like, it needed something salty and savory as well. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I was like, it was too much. Like, even I think Scotty Young raises that in his writing, because I think it's issue 4 where she's having a debate with Claudia, that she even says, like, my days are filled with endless amounts of bright colors no human eye should ever have to take in. Like, he's referring to his own artwork. He's referring to his own kind of craziness. I like that too. Like, he's kind of like almost like taking the piss out of himself a wee bit.
Oh yeah, I don't think anything was really taken 100% seriously in this book. And that was a big selling point for me of this, is that he was having little digs at artwork. He was having little digs at the writing, or at least the tropes of that kind of Alice in Wonderland fairy type world. And you know me, I struggle with fantasy, and I didn't really have a problem with this. I thought the balance was kind of nice between that maturity level and then it not take. If it was gonna take itself seriously, I think it would have been a no for me, like personally, on this. It could have gone very wrong, but he did it very, very right. Before we carry on, let's just check the chat. We've got Tom from This Month in Movie saying, I love Larry. You can see in his face that he's had enough of this shit.
He's definitely the best one.
Yeah, I warmed to him so much. It was unbelievable. Comic Bound is saying, I love the clever little details in this book. The moon turning into the crescent moon is a great example. Eons of Comics, Lee saying, love the art and the contrast of colors. Oh my God, can't believe I've been so slack on reading this. We've got TB saying he agrees with Comic Bound. There are lots of details throughout to look at. We've got Lee here. We've got 2 Lees now. That's confusing, isn't it? We've got She Looks Like a Garbage Pail Kid. Her girl.
I was talking to TB Collects earlier on, and he said that his wife read this, but this is the first comic she's ever read. And I was like, I'm not sure this is an entry-level comic, to be honest. But he said that she absolutely loved it, and she gave him money and went, go get me the rest.
Wow.
So, you know, there must have been, you know, he said that she loved the art and it was right up her street, that kind of thing. So,
who was that, Scott?
TB Collects, his wife.
Yes, he did. He did send a message, didn't he? She loved it that much. That is amazing.
Yeah, I was speaking to him for a bit. Yeah.
See, that's why I love doing this show. You know, we all kind of come together and, you know, find out what we like and we don't, and it's great. Let me just say a quick hello to Chamaro Sim here as well, who's just flying in, flying out. Yeah, I'm really pleased about that. You know that she was getting into comics there as well. Beth has joined us. It was very Alice American McGee. Yeah, it's kind of true. Did have that kind of vibe. And TB Collects is saying, haha, she's watching me right now. She's so happy.
Welcome.
This is 20 issues as well, isn't it? In its full entirety, the whole series.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Has it concluded? It's definitely it's finished. It's not like it's still ongoing.
Well, he has hinted that she could come back at some point.
So it has ended, but he's kind of open to maybe if Image pay him more money, he'll come back and do.
He doesn't actually write that much, does he, Scotty Young? I mean, it's this and Middle West are the only two I can think of that he's written. Is that right? Is there more of his?
I personally don't know. This is the only one I'm aware of his, for me personally. What did you say the other one was?
Middle West. I'm pretty certain he writes that too.
Was that him as well? Was he?
Yeah, but that's only two I know of.
Okay. But let's get into the writing of this. What did we think of the writing? Personally, for me, I quite liked this. That's all I'll say. I'll let you guys go ahead first, but I quite liked it. Scott,
I think quite liked is fine. I'm there as well. Quite liked. I wasn't. It was again like the writing was trying too hard, and I did like the dialogue was quite simple. The premise of the whole story was quite simple, and it does make me wonder. Just like reading it, is it just him showcasing his art and being let loose to go a bit more gruesome than what we're usually used to with the Scotty Young with his covers and stuff like that?
I think it's quite nice though. I think we all have to admit. I mean, well, you don't have to, but I personally think that, like Shane said, we're all used to his kind of sweet, cute covers that he does. So for when he had the opportunity to do his own indie book, for him to kind of do something really kind of gruesome where people are chopping each other's heads off and all of this stuff, like I thought that was quite a cool move by him to do that.
Don't get me wrong though. Like I did enjoy bits of the book. Like I did laugh out loud, like turning a page to something I didn't expect to see, and it's rare for me to like audibly laugh or gasp at a book. So kudos to that. Like well done, Scotty. You've made me laugh out loud in some of your pages, but it's a shame that like as I've said before, I much preferred Larry to Gertrude, and I think it's a shame that happened because Gertrude's the main character. I did at the end of like issue 4 or 5, I was just like, just shut up, like, you know what I mean? Stop, like
you'd had enough. At that point.
I felt like it just became like moaning more than it's just I get it, like 27 years in this world. You know what I mean? Like
I can see Shane's kind of frowning a bit there, but I do think you have a bit of a point there, Scott, because the dialogue, as fun as it was very one gear, wasn't it? So by the time you get to kind of 5 issues in, it's like that dialogue doesn't really shift up in style or any point. So it is a kind of, it's exciting, but it is a monotone voice essentially. It's a one-tone voice.
I'm mad. I'll kill you. I'm mad. I'll kill you. I'm mad. I'll kill you. And that's just what I felt like it was.
We often talk about like character development from the start to the finish, and there wasn't any. Like you mentioned, 27 years, and she didn't learn a thing. It's like it was the same person from issue 1 that ended issue 5, apart from having this mystic power she had from God Death, or whatever his name was. I can't remember.
Lord Dark Death.
Yeah.
The one thing for me though is like I would like to find out, and I hope in those 20 issues, and I personally do plan to go ahead and read those other 15 issues because I quite like to see this through, because this does end on a hell of a cliffhanger.
Oh, yeah.
So what I hope is explained though, is why she ends up there in the first place. I hope that gets addressed, because you don't get that from volume 1. It's just at the very, very beginning, her bedroom floor opens up, she goes through, boom, she's in this land.
She wished to go there. They told her. The beginning of the book tells you she wished to.
Yeah, but how did that happen?
Granted. Well, Claudia can pull children into.
When's it my turn? That's all I'm saying. Okay, yeah, so that's it. It's just a simple wish she's granted. Okay, fair enough. That does explain it. If it's just I thought there was more to it.
No, it's just a simple wish. They can just pull children into Fairyland. bit creepy, really.
Let me just address the chat here, because I can see that it's falling. We're falling a little bit behind. Of course, yeah. James from Comic Theory saying, yeah, he writes Strange Academy at the moment, doesn't he, Scott Young? And we've also got Andy here as well saying wrote Deadpool 2, so he did a stint on Deadpool. What else have we got here? I think we got a couple of Lees talking about their names. And we've got Shane looking at Scott like, I can't kill you, but I can shoot you in the throat if you don't stop that thing in the book.
Wow.
Nice quote from the comic book there. That's genius. Well done.
See, I think I'm with Scott in terms of
just hang on, mate. Let me just say a quick hello to Highland G as well, who's joined us, and Shane's brother, Tottenham Gaming. Howdy to you guys as well. Sorry, Phil. Go on.
Oh, it's me. I just kind of agree with Scott 100%. Like, it's not that we did not like the book. Yeah. I liked the book. It's just it has a limit. It has a kind of a ceiling that it hasn't broke through the ceiling for me. If you know what I'm trying to say, like, hasn't excelled. Other than what it is what it is. It's not going to be fantastic scoring or like it's not going to be, I don't know, an Eisner award winning kind of book type thing. It has a limit, and I think that this is the limit.
Do you think this book would have been like the monotony of it? Would it have been more well received as a monthly, or as a one hit? You know, like this volume we've got here. Like, what would you have preferred to have read it as? And if, you know, and would it have been received differently? You know, if it was out monthly, you go, oh, you know, this is quite cool. The same thing for 20 odd pages, and then wait a month and then you get it again. Like, you get it in dribs and drabs.
I would say
you've gone the long way around asking a question there. Is this better in single issue monthly, or is this better in trade? I don't know. I never read it in single issue, so I can't comment on it. Shane, did you read it monthly when it was out, or did you just pick up?
I read the first trade, and then I went back and got all the single issues, and then continued monthly from there.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see why you're asking that, though, Scott. Because I suppose you're asking, like, does that maybe break up the one-tone dialogue, or you know, the kind of the similar tone from issue to issue? You know, I see what you mean. Like, does it put a pause in there? Just a quick hello to 3G. I've missed these live for the last 4 or so weeks. Just wanted to say hi. he's loving the facial hair. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, what I did like in this was I liked the Queen in this as well.
Yeah.
And you know, I didn't realise.
Why? What special assets did she have that you liked?
No, it wasn't that. I liked the Queen herself, and I didn't realise until like halfway through. Like, her name was Queen Claudia, and she has, for those that haven't read it, she has this big white hair. I didn't plot that her hair was a cloud until about halfway through, when she got really angry and all the lightning and her hair started to go like dark grey, like a storm and stuff.
I didn't pick that up at all.
Did you pick that up?
Nope.
Yeah. See that? It took me a while to clock it.
My bad.
I think in terms of kind of more dynamic character, because she could be quite queeny and proper for the kind of the kingdom she was ruling, but then also just be a right psychopath and just want to kill this poor little girl. But yeah, Claudia, whatever. Claudia, the girl with the big boobs. Yeah, she was an interesting character.
I think for me, I think he did really good on this as a whole. You know, taking the volume. I don't, like you say, Scott, about the single issues. I don't know what it would have been like to read them from month to month. But as a volume, I quite enjoyed being able to read the whole thing through and through. I read it in 2 sittings for me, so I did put it down like halfway through and then pick it back up. So it took 2 goes for me. But I think the characters in this were what made it for me. I loved Gert. I do agree with some of your comments there about her being a bit linear and a bit one tone, like, I'm angry, I'm going to kill you. You know, as you just said, I completely get that. But I think it was the lacking there was bolstered by, I think, the Queen Claudia, by Larry. And who was the other guy as well when she goes to get the, like, was it the Doom power? And it's like King Deathly Death or something. What was his name?
Lord Dark Death.
Yeah, that guy. You know, I think it was just bolstered up. Like for me, that kind of her being one tone meant that there was room for a lot of other characters to kind of shine a little bit more, rather than just having like, you know, a few panels and then they're gone. You know, they actually stood out as good characters.
Even Happy was a good character.
Happy.
Yeah, like she got this little sweet little girl as well, but then also she had this superpower. Was it like rainbows or unicorns or something? It's just like
fires, rainbows. Yeah,
yeah. I quite liked her, but she had more about her as a character. I thought, like in terms of like different kind of things, it wasn't all quite the same. But she ended.
Question is, I mean, the art for me as well, like the colors in this, I thought were brilliant. You know, there's a lot of, again, for people that didn't read it, there's a lot of kind of pinks, purples, greens, a lot of
picture a
lot of pastels, like very candy colors and stuff in this as well. And then that just positioned against all the violence and stuff. You know, I think that's where you get a little bit of magic as well.
I did appreciate that. I did think, like, you know, it's really good to kind of, you know, juxtapose that. It's clever, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, take this forever innocent, eternally happy thing and turn it on its head, but keep the jolliness and the happiness and the, you know, the everything's great, but kill things.
Kill everything.
What did you guys think when she made the wish to be normal and in the bar and she
oh
Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah, what was that she became?
Yeah, because she had like 27 years of eating the kind of sugary foods that's in Fairyland. So she became the gob ding the monster. That's where this name's from.
Oh, so that's what I'm gonna look. That's what I'm gonna look like after lockdown, isn't it? When I emerge in June. That's the
thing about this book too. I mean, I'm kind of going to go off on a tangent a wee bit. There was a thing back in the day when I was a teenager called Happy Tree Friends. I don't know if you ever remember that.
Yeah, I remember those.
And this just basically reminds me of that, like these cutesy little characters that will kill you and just cut off your limbs and everything else. And it's good and interesting and stuff. It's funny, but it's like for this book, I just thought there was too much, just a smidge, too much.
Yeah, you are right. I never thought about the Happy Tree Friends thing in there, but yeah, there are a little bit. There's similar vibe there. But saying that, I think isn't there a book around? I don't know if it's still running at the moment. But there was an Image book called Pretty Violent as well, wasn't there? Which that seemed to follow a little bit.
That came out after I Hate Fairyland.
Was that Scotty Young as well, or that wasn't him? Was it? Yeah. So because I've read issue 1 of that, and I thought, oh, this similar vibe. Yeah, and the artwork was a little bit similar as well. You know, it's very sweet but very violent at the same time. Just a quick hello to Shattered Glass Comic Reviews joining us as well. Hey guys, hope you're well, mate. Yeah. So
I didn't think it ended on a cliffhanger though. I felt this was a very contained book. No, I felt like this could have a one trade story, and that could be the end of it. You could just
no. Let me stop you there. Scott, was it a cliffhanger at the end of this volume?
I think I'm with Shane on this one. I think it could be a self-contained thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Phil, was it a cliffhanger at the end of this?
It's a cliffhanger for me. I mean, something happened on the very last page. Like you want to go to see what happens next.
If you didn't know there were 3 more volumes, if this just was in your hands and you read that as the final page, you'd be like, ooh. And then you could just imagine the rest yourself.
Yeah, I would have been left unfulfilled, unsatisfied. I think.
No, I think you are right. Like you could leave it there, but I mean, you can't. You know what I mean?
I acknowledge that it is a cliffhanger, but
yeah, but it can also be a self-contained book. Like you don't have to read volumes 2, 3, and 4. I mean, you should, but you don't have to.
You know.
We've got Highland G here as well. I said I've said this before, but I think this could make for a great computer game, just an animated open world bloodbath. Yeah, that could work, man. Yeah.
That's the thing. I got the impression that Scotty Young maybe made this with the idea, like he's clearly a fan of those kind of American, I don't know what you would call them, like Ren and Stimpy and and those kind of like Rocco's Modern Life, those kind of gory, kind of grotesque, kind of cartoon things. And I'm wondering if this was maybe adapted into something like that, would it be more successful or something? Like, would it be more widely loved? I don't know.
Like what you mean is in like if this was like a mature animated cartoon series or something,
like Family Guy or American Dad or something like that. That kind of cult following. That
I think it'd definitely be a contender. Surely some of those big streaming services have maybe looked at this and at least considered it at some point.
The voice I imagined for Gert was the woman who did the little girl in Wreck-It Ralph. Was it Sarah Silverman or something like that? You know what I mean?
Oh, I love Sarah Silverman.
Yes, so that's the voice I imagined on Gert. Was that?
I had he's Haley Kutcher that does Harley Quinn and is in the Four Nerds, and she's the good looking girl.
Haley Cuoco.
The voice I heard was Scott. As I said to you previously, I read everything in Scott's voice now.
I like boys, Gert. I am.
Welcome to the Follies.
So, what did you guys think of the ending? That she almost gets home and then she sort of does herself in.
I didn't want her to make it home. I thought that way.
I mean, she could have, but someone just has to open their mouth, and she couldn't let it go, so she does something.
I kind of liked how that turned out, because it was kind of almost like all she had to do was walk away. And there's a kind of lesson in there, isn't there? Like all she had to do was just turn the key and walk, and she couldn't let it go because she had to respond again violently. As Scott said, it's all violence, all kill. She had to do it again, and of course, that in the end ruins it for her again.
But Larry's reaction to that was great.
I love Larry.
Yeah. Is it his name's Larry Gone? Is it Larrigan or it's
Larrigan? Yeah.
Larrigan.
Do you know what part? Do you know what part as well I liked? When she kind of like gets the vanity mirror and she pulls the queen through to kind of have a word with that, and like Larry's just standing there with a gun, and she's like, "Hello, Larry," and he's all like, "Queen." Larry genuinely is just not bothered about anything that's going on or what anyone has to say. Like he's just getting through his day, Larry. Like I identify with him so much.
He's great.
We need a Larry spin-off, don't we?
Totally. Would you read that, Scott?
Yeah, I would.
A Larry spin-off, yeah, me as well. TB saying about her turning around and attacking the queen. It fit her character for her to do that. Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally agree. So
loved it.
Would you? I mean, not you, Shane, because obviously you picked this, so you've probably read the whole 20 issues. But Phil and Scott, would you read on? Are you interested beyond this now, or no?
I've a ton of other things in front of it I would want to read first, if you know what I mean. Like it's not something I'm going to jump at to do now.
I want to say exactly the same thing. Like it's not like I need to read more of this right now. It's I'm happy to look at it later, but I can't tell you when.
Maybe someone will pick volume 2 for next week. Who knows?
Maybe.
We've got a fair few volume 2s to get through, haven't we? We've got volume 2 of Saga as well. We've got to get through. Let me just quickly say hello to Daz, the key chaser as well. How you doing, mate? Yeah, I think I'm going to go on and read it. It's getting trickier though now, like with all the books that we have been reading here on this every week. But I think I'm going to carry on with that, but then the pile starts creeping up, you know what I mean?
Because we've always got to add the book we're reading for next week on top of that pile, and we have to read that first and then get through what we want to.
It is a question for you guys as well. I know like Scotty Young tends to have quite a hardcore fan base as well, doesn't he? Like there are people that literally will just collect his variants. I think like Martin from M3 Lions Information Booth on YouTube, he is a huge Scotty Young fan, and if he can get his hand on the variants, he will. Are you fans of Scotty Young in general, his work, or?
I've only recently been picking some up, the variant covers, because I would have, what's the word? Like I kind of looked down on it before, like on the nose. It's like, no, it's not my kind of thing. Until more recently, he's done some Venom and Keen Black stuff, and there's a few for Alien coming out as well, coming out soon for he's done. And yeah, and it's only recently I've been buying his variant covers. I have a few. Okay,
Scott, how about you? Are you a Scott Young fan?
No. I think, like, you know, his covers are nice. Like, I like the cutesy little characters on that he does, and I think I saw one of the King in Black ones, and it was quite like, you know, just it was cheeky, you know what I mean? And I did like that, but I wouldn't, if I had to choose, you know, a normal cover and a Scotty Young cover, I don't think I would choose a Scotty Young cover. Like, I think if I was going to choose an artist to follow in terms of covers, I'd be more of a Derek Chew kind of guy.
Yeah,
I really like his stuff.
I have to say, I'm with you, mate. I'm not, again, given the choice, like, I'd probably go cover 8. Like, Scotty Young, he's not, and I think that's why I was so impressed with this, because not being a fan of the variants, I didn't think I was going to be a fan of this book, and maybe that's altered my opinion. Maybe the bar was low with me going in, but I was actually surprised that I did enjoy this. 3G's agreeing with you as well, Scott. You'd have to pay me to get his variants. Oh. And Beth is saying, this reminds me of that old PC game Toonstruck. Did anyone else play that? I don't think I remember that one.
Not before my time.
And we've got Daz the Key Chaser saying, I am not a fan of Scotty Young. And James from Comic Deal, I'm not fussed on them myself. Although he does have to get the Juggernaut one. There you go.
See, this is the one I picked up more recently. So the King in Black one, and this is from Scotty Young's website. And I even paid for it to ship from America because I wanted it that much. But again, it's only recently I've been buying his stuff. I wouldn't be a huge fan.
Are you on commission or something? Like,
if he's watching, he ever runs a website. If you want me to, I'll do that.
Okay, so we got and Shane, I'm not even asking you. You're clearly a huge Scotty Young fan. We've seen all of those variants that you have. Whenever we do
the entire 20 issues, plus all the variants, plus all the specials. Some of them came with 5 variants, which I had to get all of those. And then there are 3 specials. There are 2 wraparound covers. I have everything. I have every single variant. And now I'm going to go back and get the hardback covers as well, because I just want everything.
To be fair, the hardback covers look pretty cool.
They do look really nice. Do they have inside? Do they have the pin-up images that go along with this?
I'm not sure. What are you talking about?
Well, in the single issues that I read digitally, when you get towards the end, there's the kind of like pin-up.
Oh yeah.
So there's yeah.
I'm not too sure about the hardbacks if they do. They might just be, because it's 2 volumes in one, so it might just be like the trades.
I hope that they have all of those pin-up artworks in there as well, because that was, some of those were absolutely brilliant. I think there was one of her done in like an anime style as well, which looked fantastic.
Yeah, but
cool.
Oh, it's so good.
We have Liam saying, don't worry, guys, I haven't met anyone other than Beth who's heard of Toonstruck. It's the first, I'm going to Google it straight after this. I have to know what Toonstruck is now. A Comic Band saying, Scott Young has done at least one non-cutesy cover. The one with Spider-Man and Deadpool was cool. There we go.
Can't think what it
is. All right. I think I think unless anyone else has got anything to briefly touch on, I think we should probably move on to final thoughts and scores, because we have to let the guys pick what we're reading next week as well. We've got to do that. So are we happy to move on? And
yeah.
Okay. All right then. Phil, over to you then, buddy. Final thoughts and scores from you, please, sir.
Bottom line is, I enjoyed reading the book. I had a good time reading the book. It was funny. The artwork again. A professional doodler like Scotty Young. It looks great, and to be honest, I didn't know what to expect from it beforehand. The story didn't really take me anywhere that I wanted to go, other than just like kill things and be more brutal than the last one. But there were quite a few things I found funny, like the mentioned before, like every narrator got scalped in the first page of each book. Gertrude she's a bit of a bitch, and she's not very likable, if you know what I mean. I didn't really enjoy her character, but Larry was a top guy. I want to be his mate. Overall, like I said, I had a good time reading it. glad I did. It's not something I would pick out, but I'm going to be fair from score. And it's maybe seem high. I'm going to go 6.5 because I still liked it. It's just, I think that's its height for me. It's not going to go beyond that.
Okay. It's a 6.5 from Phil the Doodler. Shane, over to you, buddy.
I love this book. I love everything about it. I love the art, the characters, the designs, the color, everything. I love the sarcasm, the sassiness, everything, the violence. Just, mwah. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it. From the cover, you're not expecting it. I mean, I know she's holding an axe on the cover, but you don't expect this level of gore in a book that looks this family friendly. So I absolutely loved it. Like I say, I went back and got everything afterwards because I'm a massive fan of Gertrude and Larry, obviously. He's awesome. And I don't have anything bad to say. I mean, I heard your points. I don't agree with them. And I can't, they haven't changed my mind, unfortunately. Like, I'm always open to everyone else's opinions, and it does normally change my opinion on things, but not when it comes to this book. I love this book so much. I read this book often, and I can't help it. This, for me, it's a 9.5. I can't give it a low score. I just can't. I love it so much. I will read it again and again and again, and I will laugh every single time.
Okay.
So you've read this more than once, Shane?
I've read this more than once.
So what's your score then, mate?
9.5.
Wow.
9.5. Woo, he's going in there high. Of course, folks, if you're watching live in the chat and you've read this and you've read along with us, drop your score in there now. I will make sure I'm picking them up. I can see a few people are already starting to put them in. To do that, and I'll make sure that I grab them, and we'll see what you guys think as well of this. Scott, over to you, mate.
Okay. Overall, this book was fine. It was sorry, Shane. Like the art did have its lovely moments, and there were panels and pages that I did appreciate and I did like. But I think when it came to the gore and stuff, it did get a bit too much for me. As in, not that I was uncomfortable with it, but it was just about like it felt a bit unnecessary. It felt a bit like just too much. The story, it was, the dialogue with Gert, I know she was the main character, but it was just this very samey and monotonous 2D quite the way through, and she was you could see that she was just angry the whole time, and there wasn't any range to her. It was just mad. And I think it's a shame that we, by the sounds of it, we all preferred Larry over Gertrude, and I really like Larry. But I've got to give Scotty Young some credit, because I really did enjoy the subtle bits of like slight genius that he's put into his drawings, into the backgrounds, and the little I guess Easter eggs, little details that if you don't. Maybe if you did read the book monthly, you wouldn't catch these little details like the moon or just little bits you see in the background here and there. So I did appreciate that. This is something I would recommend to people, but with a pinch of salt, I think. But overall, I want to give it a 6, please.
It's a 6 from Scott. There we go. Right, everybody, let's have a look before we get to mine. Shall we have a look what people are saying in the chat here? Let's have a look. We got Tom here saying, like the art and colouring and gore, but the story is meh. 5 out of 10 from Tom from This Month in Movies. We've got Andy, Perpetual Comics, here saying -2, or if negative scores are not allowed, I would give it a solid 0. Not a fan there from Andy. TB, absolutely love this book. Art is great. So many details. Want to read more. Plus, the wife loves it. 9 out of 10 for me. We also got Comic Band saying, I feel like a 7.5 isn't high enough, but an 8 is too generous. So I'll go with a 7.75. We've got Liam giving it a 7 out of 10. We have Beth, who is also, I'm giving it a solid 8. I loved it. Love a bit of blood and gore. We got Highland G. I'm going 8.5. This series started out great. So there we go. I think that's it. Oh, hang on. No, James has just sneaked in. I've never read it, but any comic that has a swear word, you can't vote if you've not read it. We're not accepting that. Right then, for me, I love this. As I said, I went into this not a fan of Scotty Young. I do read Strange Academy, and I do like that. So when I say I'm not a fan, I mean of the kind of variant collecting kind. But I was really blown away by this. I don't like, and purely because it just goes against what I like. I'm not a fan usually of Scotty Young. I don't like fantasy, and yet I found myself enjoying this book. I did find it a bit, I agree with you, Scott, wholeheartedly, that it was a little bit two-dimensional. And one of the things that really irked me, I didn't get a chance to say earlier, was the censorship that he used. At first, this whole, muffin fluffer stuff, it started out as kind of fun, but it started to really get on my nerves as we got on throughout the issues. I was like, just stop it. That's really irritating me now. Like it was like an itch I couldn't scratch. I just like, stop doing that. It got really annoying. But overall, like visually, this just looked great for me. I mean, it's not usually my style. I don't usually go for that cutesy kind of cartoony look. But this had that substance behind it. It had that enough juxtaposition of blood and gore and violence against this whole sugary thing that it completely, as I said, took that Alice in Wonderland thing, flipped it upside down, put a load of LSD on it, put some sugar on it and a massive cherry, and then boom, that was it. You got this book. So yeah, I'm just a fan that I was surprised. He surprised me. He made me like this when I thought I wasn't going to. So for me, I was going to give this a 7 for me, because I mean, overall, just like it's not a groundbreaking book. This is not going to go down in the records as like the best comic book ever written. But my God, what a fun little book this is to read. So I was going to give it a 7, but purely because the art is so great as well. It's a 7.5. I'm going to give it. Just gets a little bit extra for me. So 7.5. Nice. All right, so let's see how it did then. So everybody watching live right now that's read along with us this week, they have given this an average of 6.4.
Okay, just
let everyone absorb that. That's 6.4. Us here on the screen, we gave it a 6.5, a 9.5, a 6, a 7.5, which gives it an average of 7.4 from us. So looking on our Nerd Herd leaderboard, let's see where it falls. 7.4.
Dave.
Yeah, it ties in number 7 with Dave. There we go, 7th place. On the Nerd Herd leaderboard, Shane, look, look at Shane's face. I've just literally taken down the leaderboard there and I just showed.
I just can't believe it's beaten Maximum Carnage, to be honest.
Yes, you can.
That's fine.
You say that every goddamn week about every book. Like if it comes under Maximum, I can't believe this. Then for me, I think that fits exactly where it should. I gave it 7.5. It's come out at 7.4. I think for me, I think it's where it belongs, really. I mean, I was just surprised at how fun this was. I just thought it was really, really fun.
Yeah, it was.
All right then, folks, let us move on then and find out what we are reading next week. And to do that, we're going to need the folks watching live with us to give us their recommendations. That's right, folks. It's that time for you to shout out your recommendations. We'll put it all in a spinny wheel. Scott's going to be the wheel man today.
I'm ready.
And we will draw one at random. And of course, you will win a little something for joining in. And don't worry about where you are located in the world. We will get it out to you international. So do not worry about that. So all we require you to do is one recommendation. Keep it within the realms of sensible. Don't be picking like an omnibus or something. We have only got a week to read these things. One recommendation only. We'll get it on the wheel and we'll spin it around and we'll see who wins. And that will be what we read next week. So there you go. Get it all out there, folks. Let's get it out. And while we are waiting, let's have a quick look through. We've got Tottenham Gaming saying Injustice Year 1. Ooh, gets an ooh from Shane. I knew this was going. Amy, Saga 2, please. We've got TB Collects suggesting Fear Agent.
That is.
We have Tom, Man After My Own Heart. Why the Last Man, Volume 1. Yes, please, sir. Comic Bound. Oh, I've got the chat jumping down on me there. Hang on. Comic Bound is suggesting Lock and Key, Volume 1. Welcome to Lovecraft. Okay.
Good shout.
Good choice. The Noob suggesting White Knight.
Nice.
The Batman book. Perpetual Comics, Doomsday Clock. Nice selection, buddy. 2 for Doomsday Clock. We've got James suggesting Doomsday Clock too.
Me think they're ganging up on us.
It's a thing right now, isn't it? Doomsday Clock. It's a thing.
It's actually a pretty good book.
Yeah, I agree. I don't mind it. Hang on, chat has jumped on me again, so I am scrolling back up. It just keeps jumping on me. We have 3G Superman American Alien.
Yes. We need a Superman book, don't we?
We do. We haven't had one yet. Sith Lordly, Stranger Things, Dungeons and Dragons.
Nice.
That's just finished, that is, as well.
Yeah.
There we go. We've got Sam Taylor, The Boys, Volume 1. I recommended Empire for Dawn of Comics Read and React. And we got Highland G. My suggestion, 1 week in the library.
What's that one?
I don't know. Is he suggesting we go and? Is he
Is
suggesting we all go and spend a week in the library, or is?
I'm hoping it's a horror.
I leave that one.
1 week in the library.
1 week in the library.
Is that an actual book? Yeah. Okay.
Liam Cartwright is saying, I still haven't read it yet. What better time for first read than with you for Fallout New Vegas? All roads, please, for Liam.
Loads of suggestions this week.
Yeah, we are. We're having loads.
What's Tottenham Gaming saying?
Injustice.
Yeah, he's saying Injustice Year 1 deleted my message
right.
because I was going to change Secret Wars, but I can't do that to Scott. Okay. Eons of Comics is suggesting Black Friday from Scout Comics. Beth, she's here again. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Okay.
We got 2 for the boys. There we go. That's the second one for the boys.
This is going to be interesting.
And there we go. Andy's saying here 1 week in the library is stupendous. And it's the same right as Ice Cream Man, so it's Maxwell Prince.
Right.
I love Ice Cream Man. I love that guy.
But Andy doesn't like I Hate Fairyland, so he has no taste.
Hey, don't start being. This is a safe space for everyone.
Oh wait, there. I think I forgot Liam's. Sorry, Liam.
That was Fallout Vegas.
Liam. Of all people, you forget Liam.
Oh, it just went past. Sorry, Liam. I didn't actually forget you.
I can be your best friend, Liam, if you want.
Desperate for best friends.
Okay. Are we doing, Scott? Have we got them all down?
I think I'm done.
Yeah.
I think I'm done. Can we do one more? Like go through them just in case?
Yeah, we can, mate. That means me scrolling all the way back up here. In fact, I can actually do it over here. Like it'd be easier for me. I just do it on the computer rather than on the screen there. Okay. Hang on, I'm just finding the start. Okay, so we had Tottenham Gaming with what was it? Injustice 1?
Injustice Year 1.
Injustice Year 1, yeah. Saga Volume 2 from Amy.
Yep.
Fear Agent from TB Collects.
Yep.
Why the Last Man Volume 1 from Tom.
Yes.
Yep. Lock and Key Volume 1 from Comic Bound.
Yep.
Batman the White Knight from the Noob.
Yep.
2 for Doomsday Clock, 1 for Andy, 1 for James.
Yep.
Yep. We have Superman American Alien from 3G.
Yeah.
Stranger Things, Dungeons and Dragons, Sith Lordly.
Yes.
1 week in the library, Highland G.
You missed Sam Taylor, The Boys.
Yeah, that comes after on mine.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, The Boys Volume 1 should have 2, Daz and Sam. Yes. We have Liam with New Vegas All Roads. And we have Black Friday from Lee Eons Comics and The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Perfect.
And then we had that's it.
Cool. Okay.
That's all I've got.
We are.
Do you want to share your screen?
It is shared ready.
Oh, okay. Hold on. There it is.
Are we ready?
Yeah. Are you going to shuffle? I'll leave it totally up to you, mate. You want to shuffle how many times? Do the old Scotty shuffle. It's up to you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 shuffles.
There you go.
Right. Let's go.
Please, not Saga. Please, not Saga.
Sabrina. Oh no!
Oh,
Oh, yay! Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
Bethany Cartwright.
Bethany Cartwright is the winner. So there we go. That was well done, Beth. I think that's the third time she suggested that one. So Beth, you will win. Seeing as it started again this week, we have Volume 1 of The Walking Dead, we have Volume 2 of The Walking Dead, and we have Volume 3 of The Walking Dead.
I would
all coming.
Prizes.
Yeah, all for you there, Beth. If you can message me on Instagram your mailing address, I'll get them sent out to you this week before the weekend. And also, if you want to come and join us, you have an open invitation to come and share the screen with us and talk about the chilling adventures of Sabrina. There we go.
Great.
That's what we're reading.
Delighted.
I enjoy the Netflix show, so.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great.
To be fair, it is highly regarded. I think I didn't like the Netflix show. That's why I'm not looking forward to it. But the comic book itself is quite highly regarded. So yeah.
I have not watched the Netflix thing yet. So
don't bother.
No spoilers.
Good.
So there you go. Congrats to Bethany. She is the winner. And next week, folks, we are reading The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. How many volumes of this is that? Like, which one are we reading? Is it a current one?
I really don't know.
I think it's quite recent, isn't it?
Is it going to go back to the original Archie comic days? Like
that's why I was just thinking. Beth, can you confirm with us what year or what volume it is you want us to read? And we'll make sure that we get that on the thumbnail for people as well, so that they know which year it is that they need to start reading from. If you can let us know, we'll get that done. There you go then.
Cool. Chilling
Adventures of Sabrina. That is what we are doing. I'm just going to ignore you now. I'm typing. See you guys. Bye. There you go. That concludes episode 22. I'll get the thumbnail up and we'll have the year confirmed for the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina on there. So check back or check the Instagram, the Nerd Herd Comic Book Club. And Beth, don't forget to send me your mailing address. I'll get them sent out to you. And on that note then, folks, I don't think there's anything else. So let us have a quick spin around while we're waiting for Beth to confirm the year. Let's go around and see what everyone's got going on the channels. Phil, go.
I finished recording episode 3 of my vlog series, but I don't know when it'll be out, but it will be out before next Wednesday. That's for sure. Because I've as you can see around me, I've made some sort of progress in the Nerd Cave. So yeah.
Yeah, someone's been to IKEA.
Oh no, I haven't. I gave up on IKEA, but you'll see that on the video. I get quite angry about it.
It's not just like an hour of you assembling a Kallax unit, is it? This video?
No, if there was, there'd be a lot of swear words because this was a nightmare to build, and you think it shouldn't be. It was.
Okay, dokie. Shane, how about you?
I'm continuing my read and react for DC Future State. I know it's finished now, but I'm a little bit behind because I've been doing every single story, and there's a lot of them, and I still have more to do.
Okay, there we go. Reading great. And reacting. Scott.
Nothing coming up new this week, but we've got the rewind of Comic Airwaves episode 2. It was a lot of fun. Thanks for everyone who joined in, and anyone who didn't join in, go ahead and watch and then join in. It was great. But I also did record a little video of me with my new 7 Secrets suitcases. It There's just 2 of them here. I'm a big fan of the series. I designed them myself, had them 3D printed by my dad, and then filed them, smoothed them down, and painted them. So there's a video on that, and yeah, go watch that if you're interested.
They're cool.
There you go, folks. So what Scott's saying is, if you want anything 3D printed, send it to his dad, and he'll do it for you. That's what
my
he
dad
says.
will do it. Yeah.
Bethany has just confirmed for us it's Volume 1, The Crucible, from 2016. There we go, folks. That is the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina that we're reading. As for me, I will be on this month in movies on Friday. Where me and Phil and Lee from the Retro Cave, we're going to be reading. we're going to be watching Blades of Glory, isn't it? I don't know what year it was. I forget now.
2007.
Yeah.
Whoa! Look at that encyclopedia brain. It's like 2007.
Big Will Ferrell fan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so we're going to be on there having a chat about that movie, and that is it really, I think, for me. But as usual, I want to kind of end with a few recommendations for people. You know, if you like this channel, you may like some of these other channels as well. So first off, I am going to recommend you go and check out Lee from the Retro Cave Comics. As I said, he'll be joining us over on This Month in Movies on Friday to talk about Blades of Glory. And I miss Lee. We used to hang out loads, and we don't hang out nearly half as much as we should anymore. So I do miss him. So go and check out Lee. He's a lovely guy. Also go and visit and pay a subscription and subscribe and a like and a ding of the bell and all of that jazz. Go and check out our very own Comic Bound as well. You might have seen him in the chat here with us as well. Go and check out his YouTube channel. He does have one. He's also on Instagram. I think he has an underscore in between Comic and Bound. Is that right?
I don't know.
You don't know, do you? Of course you don't know. You don't know.
Just search Comic Bound, it'll come up.
And lastly, I would like to recommend you all go and check out This Month in Movies. That is our very own Tom here as well. And that's where we'll be on Friday over on his channel talking about Blades of Glory with Phil and Lee. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it.
Now.
Do it.
Do it now.
All right, folks. Get your waves up.